Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today. It's Sunday, which means that we have only 1 week left to the premiere for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 7. This one will be doing our Q&A for today, and starting with an interview from Greg Nicotero, who has directed the mid-season premiere, Episode 9, Rock in the Road. And I'll put the link in the description as usual, so you guys can go ahead and check it out. The interview's from comicbook.com, and it is an interview with Greg Nicotero, who, of course, is directing our mid-season premiere, Episode 9, Rock in the Road, which still makes me think of ice cream, as usual. I like the title. It's nice. So he says in the interview, "I'm very excited," said Nicotero. "I think Episode 9 is one of the best of the season by far in terms of storytelling, in terms of performances, in terms of audience expectations, of seeing the band back together and putting our group back on their feet again. It's very exciting and quite a bit of fun. And the season builds and builds up to an absolutely thrilling finale." So I'll put the link there. You guys check it out. You can see the whole interview and go through everything that he has to say about it being one of the best episodes yet. So, or at least best of the season from what I saw. So go ahead and say it. I know some of you guys want to say it. He says that every year. He absolutely does. That's true. I mean, I remember specifically Season 5 for the second half, because he directed What Happened and What's Going On, and he said pretty much the same thing, that it's one of the best episodes ever, this kind of thing. And, I mean, we can say this. I think he is one of the absolute best directors The Walking Dead has had. And his episodes, a lot of his episodes, are some of the most special episodes in the whole series. You know, I've even seen some scientific charts some people have pointed out to where after his episodes the ratings often go up. Wasn't the case with this season, but in prior seasons, a lot of the time it has been the case. I mean, he's done This Sorrowful Life, he's done No Sanctuary, he's done What Happened and What's Going On. I mean, he's directed a ton of really, really good episodes, start to finish, I believe, right? And, The Day Will Come and You Won't Be. So, he's really a gift, I think, to us as zombie fans. I mean, he can do some amazing work with the, his makeup effects and everything. And as a director, too, he does an awesome job. So I'm looking forward to the episode, and I do kind of notice when he's doing an episode, whenever I see the wiki and I see like him listed for an episode, I kind of get excited, because I think usually it's going to be good whenever Greg Nicotero does one. So yeah, he said this a lot. He says it almost every half or every season whenever he does an episode, but I feel like a lot of the time is kind of true. Like even though What Happened and What's Going On, for example, he said kind of something similar for that, or said it was like the best episode they've done. And it was like a mid-season premiere, so that's why this makes me think of that so much. But if you look at that episode, there's some pretty special stuff in that episode. They went over and above in that episode, and it certainly wasn't. It was a bleak episode, and it was depressing because of the death of, spoiler warning, like 2 years ago, Tyrese in the episode. But they had like David Morrissey come back as the governor. They had Lizzie and Mika. They had Beth singing the song. That was The Whole World Is Haunted Now, right? And there's no getting out of that until you're dead. So I really like the way they set that up in that episode earlier on, with the conversation with Tyrese and Carol, and then getting to see all those ghosts come back. Like the governor playing Tyrese's shadow, and him just being absolutely terrifying. So he's done some great stuff for the show. You can't argue that. And when he does say that it's going to be a good episode, that usually means, okay, it should be a really good episode. So, I'm excited for next weekend. I'm really excited for next Sunday. I just can't wait. And we'll see what they've got for us this year. So write your comments below what you guys think about this. And I know some of you guys are going to say that. Says it over here. James Mundell says, "Hey Trev, I just saw that former Buffy the Vampire Slayer star Emma Caulfield has been casted as a new bad guy in Fear the Walking Dead. Could her character be the link to The Walking Dead? Could she be Alpha and pick up the Walker trick from Nick? Let me know what you think, and thanks." So that's an interesting theory from James. She does look like her. She does look quite a bit like Alpha, and you guys can search Emma Caulfield for yourselves. For me, I was going to do like maybe a video giving my thoughts on the casting, but I decided I'd put it in this one as part of the Q&A, because I mean, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, what like an old school show. I have not seen that show or pretty much anybody who was cast in that show in a long time. I mean, geez, I'm 30 now. When I watched Buffy, I was like, what, 13? Like 17 years ago or 14 or something, maybe 12? I don't even remember exactly how old I was, but it was a long time ago. So I don't even recognize that actress at all. And I watched Buffy pretty much every episode. I liked Buffy. I thought it was fun when I was, really young. It was a pretty intense show if you were 12 years old, right? Back then in the 90s and that. So Josh Whedon. So really cool stuff. Yeah, but I don't remember anything about her at all. So, I don't see there being any link right now to Alpha aside from the fact that she looks a bit like her. And also, I'm kind of, as I've said before in the past, I'm kind of against them doing a crossover with the Whispers from Fear into The Walking Dead because in terms of timing, that would be tough to pull off, and it might make one of the shows have a bit of an issue. So, so I'm kind of against it. But, cool to hear the casting. You guys can check it out for yourselves and see what she looks like. If any of you remember her, write a comment below because I don't even remember the character she played. I don't remember anything. It's like I never saw it. And I know I did, but it's like I don't even know, man. It's just so long ago. Zazman Review says, will Negan be punishing someone over Daryl's escape? So this weekend should be fun to see Negan respond to finding out that Daryl is gone. And that's one of the things about Walking Dead that I think, is really great about this time in the show right now, is that we do have Rick and the regular group, and they're getting their mojo back. They're getting back to getting ready to fight. And we saw the pictures this week. I did a video on that, a breakdown video about Daryl and the crossbow and all the other stuff that's going on. It really looks good. But also we got Negan's side of things, and Negan's side of things is really funny too. So he's very entertaining, right? Even if you hate him, I still find, like, even if you're a viewer that hates Negan, you still have to appreciate how comedic and how entertaining and funny Negan is. So it's like, there's a lot to look forward to because you have Rick's group, as always, and then you also have Negan, who's funny, too. And just, not knowing what's going to happen, which is always fun. Scott Weinberg says, Trev, there's a lot of press and explaining for this season by the cast and crew. It's all about getting ratings back, which I hope they do, but I don't recall this marketing strategy for former seasons. So for Scott Weinberg, you're right, there's been more this past maybe like 2 weeks, 3 weeks than ever before, I think, where, as much damage control and as much... just discussion for The Walking Dead. I'm not afraid to do kind of more negative videos towards things and negative discussion topic videos. I generally try to stay as positive as I can because I talk about things I enjoy. So why do I want to be negative about stuff I enjoy? That's kind of masochistic in a way. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. You're being negative about something you like. It doesn't work, right? But I'm not opposed to it. But you're absolutely right. There's been a lot of interviews and things like that where, certain actors, Andrew Lincoln, whoever else, Scott Cable or anybody else, have kind of actually addressed, the declining in ratings and things like this and how people were feeling about the first half of the season. So, but I feel like they addressed it in a way where it makes sense that it's not supposed to be the most entertaining half. It's not supposed to be something that really, entertains you for that half as much as usual because it's a big picture. It's part of the big picture that, being oppressed and being depressed underneath Negan from Rick's perspective and everybody else's perspective is we're supposed to kind of go through that so that we can get to All Out War and get to, overcoming that incredible adversity that the group is going through right now. And that's what we're doing. It's just that during that half, a lot of people were like, oh, this sucks, this is boring, whatever. This is depressing. Seeing Maggie cry after the death and stuff is brutally depressing. I don't want to watch this anymore, right? So... but I think a lot of those viewers will come back eventually, and, I'm not really worried about the show or anything. It's just, they put a lot of work into the show. It's a huge show, and obviously they want it to do well. So, they can explain things from their perspective and why they chose creatively to go one direction or another. And I think it makes sense. I think it makes perfect sense for the long term of the story. Plus, once All Out War hits, all this shit's going to disappear, right? Once All Out War starts, everyone's going to forget all about this. Radical says, hey, Trev, so the Savior's looking for Daryl. How long before Daryl comes out of hiding? I am assuming that he hides hides out at the hilltop or kingdom to hide from the saviors. Your thoughts? Well, I like the idea that someone brought up that maybe he'll go and stay with Carol at that house that she's got. I think that's a cool idea outside of the kingdom there. Would be a good place for him to hide. But how long until the saviors? The saviors are probably going to start looking right away. Dwight could even head out trying to look for Daryl before Negan even gets back, because Dwight will be so scared shitless that of what's going to happen, because he was in charge of that. So if he was in charge of that, he may want to get the hell out of there, or at least go and try to find Daryl, because otherwise Negan is going to be super pissed, right, as usual. Jon Snow Rules says, "Hey Trev, I was wondering, when do you think the Whisper War could occur?" Sorry if this was already asked previously. Also, how much of Jesus and Ezekiel do you think we'll see in the second half of season 7? So Ezekiel, we should see quite a bit, I would think. Jesus as well too. Jesus is kind of like, can I compare him to Glenn in prior seasons? Jesus is kind of like a Glenn level character. So is that a B? Is that a B minus? Somewhere around there in terms of a character. Maybe not an A-lister yet. Could eventually become an A-lister. I feel like Glenn was kind of an A-lister, in the end, because he was killed. But a lot of times throughout a lot of the seasons, he was like around a B level. Jesus is kind of like around there. It goes from maybe B minus C, B minus to maybe an A or something eventually. So we'll see. But yeah, when will the Whisper War occur? So that's a recent comic book storyline. When do I think that will be translated? Probably like season 11 or season 10 and a half or something, like second half season 10, season 11, something like that. But I could be overshooting it a bit, because he did say, Kirkman did say that season 12 will be like issue 200 or something like that. And Lemuel KH2 says, "Hey Trev, I have a question for the Q&A that hasn't been discussed yet. Since Eugene was taken by Negan, do you think that the group could use the bullet formula Eugene gave to Rick to make bullets in the next half leading up to the war, until they perhaps find a more reliable source of ammo? Keep up the great work. Thanks for the content." So that's a good call out. I saw a few people in comments say that that they thought that Rick and the others would start to do it without Eugene. It'd be kind of tricky to do it without him. I mean, they could do it, but of course they have to find guns first. They have to find enough of them. So they're kind of in a tough way. We could see something like that adapted, but who would lead that? Like if Eugene's not there, who would be smart enough to lead bullet production? I'm just not sure. I can't think of off the top of my head who would be the one to do it. And Peter Jovic says, "I want to see a tiger zombie." Right? So that'd be funny to see. But no, I mean, so far as we've seen so far in The Walking Dead, animals don't turn into zombies, so it doesn't affect them in the same way. So we'll probably never see a zombie Shiva, even though that'd be pretty wild. And the last one will be from Trev's Chan Rules, who says, "Hey Trev, can you please do at least one Walking Dead live stream this season, maybe for the finale?" So yeah, I probably will do one, this half, a live stream, or at least, hangout video with you guys where we do like maybe an hour long Q&A after the finale or something. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a decent half. Every half, of course, we look forward to. I'm starting to get back in the mode of things. A little bit of negativity last couple of weeks, but with some of the news and stuff surrounding the show and violence questions and things like that. But I'm still excited for it, and you guys keep sending me your questions for this week, and we'll get even more excited as we get closer to the release for episode 9 and The Walking Dead being back on. Very excited. That'll be it for this video today, guys. Let me know what you think. Write your comments below. And if you like the video, as usual, please thumb it up. You can also share it. You can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. Always appreciate all your support, guys. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you again soon. It's Trev. Say peace. Later, guys. See ya.
You better subscribe.